Today, I'm going to take you on an adventure of the YWAM Heredia campus and also of our daily duties on weekend duty. It is caring for our farm here and all the animals, and then also taking care of any teams or people coming on campus to view it over the weekend. So, hope you enjoy. So, one of the first things we like to do is we like to tackle the chickens. So, we have 2 chicken houses, and the first one we'll come to, we have a yard like this. We got a nice pen with waters, and we let them out during the daytime. So I'm going to go get some feed, because if not, they'll take me out. Here's our ladies. Let's see if they'll do. Good morning, ladies. What? Yeah, they love their feed. So we usually do a scoop per 10. Oh, and they've left me lots of presents. All these eggs that they gave us. See if you can see. So, it looks like these ladies gave me about 14 eggs this morning. Not too shabby for this morning for this front pen. This is usually about the older brood pen that we have. And let's go check out the next pen. Alright, so we're going into our second barn area. This is mainly where we have Chispita the cow, which we'll get to her. She's our milk cow. We have our second pen of laying hens. This is the yard that they have. And the waters, of course. And we're going to see what they give us in egg production. See what the ladies want. Good morning. Hello. A little in here. You can always check behind the door because they've been laying one. Nothing there. Are you ladies giving me anything this morning? One egg. And then Miss Sally here. Are you laying one or are you crushing one? Wow. That'll be determined. You'll notice that we have shavings, wood shavings that are from our wood shop. We put those in the boxes for multiple reasons. One, they help keep the boxes fresh, the laying boxes, but also when you fluff them up, they just love having the fluffiness to be able to lay their eggs in. Oh, so after we gather that, and looks like we got another prize. Why are you ladies not laying in your box? Oh no. To be determined. So one of the things we like to do is make sure that the ladies have fresh water. You always want to clean out their water to make sure there's no growing algae. They love fresh water. You can also use whey, which we use from the leftoverness of when we make cheese. So when we process our milk from Miss Chispita, we're always left with some whey content, and we use that to supplement some of the protein. So sometimes I like to lift this box to see if there's any worms, which the chickens love the worms. Ow! Alright, so I've prepared for the milking of Chispita. This is our next task. We have our milking machine here. And then we've also set up some grain, which is a milking supplement for her specifically. And then some chopped up cane grass. And readied my hose, because we want to hose her off. And get ready. So we'll show you. Here she comes. Alright. So she pretty much lets herself in there. Come on, Miss Chispita. Our beautiful Guernsey milk cow. We just have the one for the moment. She goes right in. We're in. And then we'll go to washing. Now on to our hard part of putting on the claws. So each one of these will connect to one of her udders, and it will produce a motion on the inside that is like a natural milking motion. So these automatically will do that, and then pressurizing will go into these tubes and into these tank. So we do have to wait for the pressure to get up. So I'll show you that process after we have reached the pressure. So once the claws are all put on by suction, they are squeezing and milking the teats. The milk, you can see through the window, goes through the tube and into this canister. It is important that the pressure is up towards the green. And you can tell it's a little loud, but this is the process, and she is happily eating. You can tell that she is not being harmed in any way. And it is important we did clean off the teats and wash them and wash the surface area just to make sure. And then I toweled to get any leftover bacteria off the teats, to make sure that the bag and the teats are nice and clean so that it is sanitary for when we do put it in the canister. Yeah, our little goaties here, we have Mama and Baby. He's just chilling out today. And we also have Miss Daisy. She's not yet milked yet, or having any milk, producing any. So we're about to go get both of these mamas bred soon. So let's go back this direction. So after we have finished milking Chispita, what we do is we turn off the machine and we hang the claws up. We do have to sanitize the machine before and after each milking, and we do that with hot soapy water. The milk collection here, she gives about 1.5 gallons, so or about 6 liters. We do transfer this milk from the canister into a sanitary container and then take it to our kitchen to process. We also apply bag balm to help on the teats, because sometimes the teats need a little bit of conditioning. So we'll do that now. Alright, so we have Miss Chispita, taking her out. Chispita, by the way, means sparky, like a little spark. Chispa in Spanish, which she was when she was a little younger. Take her over to the grassy area. So here across we have our cabins. And we'll tie Miss Chispita up over here to this tree, where she'll enjoy some of this tall grass for now. And then we'll head back to finish mucking her stall and then get the goats out. Alright, so I've gotten her stall mucked out, put down some lime and some sawdust, let that dry out, and hopefully dry out before we put her in tonight. And then mucked out all her poop. Now I'll show you what we do with her poop as we fertilize our king grass. So now it's time to let Miss Crazy Pants out of her stall, aka Miss Bella. Come on here. And the good thing about rainy season, we get torrential downpours on a daily basis, and everything grows green, so we have plenty of green. I'm going to take this manure out to our king grass area. We have an area where we're growing this cane grass, and we have to chop it down with machetes every day, and then also we shred it and then give each animal their portion. So it does take a little bit of time. And then we'll also feed this guy. This is our piggy. We feed him our compost, so we don't buy feed for him. We have our kitchen scraps, which I'll show you later. So these are the kitchen scraps. It can be leftover food, old moldy food. Sometimes we cook too much and we have leftovers. We let it stay for about 3 days, and if it's not eaten within 3 days, it goes to the pig. Nothing goes to waste here. We also collect it in our own houses, in our own cabins. So you can see there's bread and cabbage and looks like some cinnamon rolls. So yeah, Mr. Piggy loves it. Yeah, there's not much that a pig won't eat, so we really try and fatten him up. Once it gets a bit bigger, put on a few more pounds. He'll be just about ready. But here you can see bananas and leftover fruits and vegetables, things that have gone bad. Peelings and food scraps. Alright, so now it's time to cut some cane grass and then take it to the shredding machine. I've got my handy dandy machete, my wheelbarrow, and a nice little bungee cord to strap it all on, and I'll show you the end result. So what we have next is we'll take this cane grass that we chopped down, and then we'll put it into the machine to shred it, and that'll be our feed for our milk cows, Cow and Bella, the crazy one, and then also our goats. So that'll be enough to get us through until tomorrow morning's milking. Alright, so now that we got the cows done, and the goats done, and the pens cleaned, and the cane grass chopped, I'm now heading into our garden. As you can see, I'll show you a little bit about what we grow. We also do composting. Now, because it's rainy season and we get inches of rain every single day, we don't normally have to water the garden for the outside, but we do have to do the inside. So we do have our growing beds here. These is just regular dirt. We have everything from jalapenos to green onion, basil, tomatoes, raspberries that have taken over the place. Habaneros, which are kind of hiding in the raspberries. And then we also have more tomato plants here. We do have a drip irrigation system kind of set up for demonstration. And we have tubes that run all along, all the way down. So we just fill up our bucket here, and then it drains and feeds into our bed. So it's like a slow drip, but it's more accurate. We also have our aquaponics system here. Right now it's a little bit skimpy, but we do have celery that we've tried to prune and replant, some lettuce, some strawberries, which you can see, yep, and then some mint, which is called herba buena. We also have a tomato plant, and we do have a cucumber plant that's looking a little sad today. We have also our seed starting area where we start seeds, so we have different ones growing. Right now it looks like hot peppers have taken off. So the way that an aquaponics system works is that you have your main ingredient, fish. We grow tilapia and koi fish at the moment. The advantage to this is that you can harvest these as well and eat them when they get to a certain size. They also create babies. They're hungry, so you do feed them daily. The water is then pumped into these rock beds. So these beds are filled with rock. They do have drains on the ends. Once the water gets to a certain level, the pump shuts off and everything then drains from the beds and then goes into these bottom tanks. And in here we have a submergible pump that when the water reaches a certain level, it kicks on and it pumps the water back up to the tanks where the fish are. So that is the aquaponics system in a nutshell. So I'll take you outside before it starts raining. I'm hoping to get all my chores done before the storms. We do have our compost here. So we have a 3-bin compost. We'll start there. We'll be turning it. We add our kitchen scraps that we don't feed the pig, and different grass clippings as well. Dry grass, you always want to have a ratio of what you call nitrogen and carbon, which is browns and greens. We also have our second bin here, and then we'll have a bin 3 here. So our bin 3 here, we sift it into wheelbarrows and we pump it into our garden. So yeah. We have our beets growing, our red kale, cabbages, green kale. This is our old dinosaur kale. Over here we have a mint, some lettuces. We have 2 bunches of lemongrass. You can see that fuzzy grass there. We're also growing beans. Some more beans over here. More cabbages and kales. We do put flowers to attract bees and other pollinating insects. We do have some wild dill growing, so our dill spreads throughout the garden. It's kind of crazy. We also have basil, more beans. Beans are ready to harvest. Some buttered lettuce, onions, more kales, and more flowering plants. We do try to farm organically. We don't like to use any chemical pesticides. We use, you can see throughout this bed, you can see some eggshells. That adds calcium to your soil. Yep. And some more flowering plants here. We even have pineapple growing. So this one's produced a couple of pineapples, but we get about 1 a year. So crazy altitude. We are in the coffee zone, so it's kind of high altitude. Some things don't grow up here. This back here is where we have our orchard. We do have a drip irrigation system for it as well. The big tank in the back there, we fill it up. We open some nozzles in the dry season, and each line of trees here has a hose that runs down. There's holes in it right at the base of where the trees are planted. We also have some mulch on top of the trees to keep the water in. And right now we have some cypress that we grow for wood. We have some gandules or pigeon peas. And then some also fruit and citrus trees. Over here we do have an extended garden of the orchard, which we have different citrus. We have oranges. What else? I'm trying to think of the English word because I'm forgetting. Grapefruit, limes, and lemons. We do try a couple pear. There's an apple out here. And over here, our newest addition is our fig. So we've already harvested 3 figs off of this plant, and looks like there is 4 more growing. So I'm excited about that. So right here on this part of our property, we do have plans to have a chapel built. This chapel, it's kind of on a hill. Hard to tell in the video, but once we get over here, it's kind of on a hill. It'll overlook the property as far as the garden and the ropes course and our barn area. So the idea is to have our chapel here, a place to have individuals come for prayer or worship, to really just kind of have alone time with the Lord, to sit in nature, and hopefully just receive some rejuvenation from the Lord. Well, 2.5 hours later, I have finished. Normally, people don't do this by themselves, only occasionally on the weekends. But one question that people don't really ask me is still, how is this mission? How is this serving the kingdom? And I don't know why I haven't really been asked this question. It's just something that the Lord's put on my heart to share, is that we equip. This is a place where we have students from all over the world who are able to get into the country to come and take our School of Sustainable Development. This is where students come to do their discipleship training school. Everything on our campus, the farm, the living sustainably, this is all concepts that we teach and disciple other missionaries in. Our main objective is to to teach and equip people and other missionaries that are being called into the poor, the destitute, the places that are unreached, those places in developing countries that struggle to feed or to make shelter, that are trying to raise animals. It's all about trying to reach those people and using everything that we have as tools to share the gospel. In a lot of ways that we do this, we train our students in a 12-week course that goes step by step in different topics. One is like animal husbandry and sustainable agriculture, just like they can work practically, hands-on with these animals. They can see the whole process from start to finish, the importance of how to care for what God has given us, everything from their health care to their diet and their feeding, how to take care of them on a daily basis, water, nutrition, and then how that affects us, how that affects our food, what we eat, everything that we put into our body. Our bodies are a temple, is affected by how we raise our animals and how we raise our crops. We don't use chemicals. We try to stay away from those. And we use the animal manure to make our compost, to fertilize our cane grass, to give back to the earth what we've taken. And it's this cycle of how can we do this without having to go and buy chemicals, and how do we farm, and how do we farm God's way. So the students really get to have these hands-on practical things, but as well as worldview. And take for granted on that we just think, okay, it's just practical. You use these things, but there's cultures where there's animism and humanism and Buddhism, and all of these different cultures and religions. They each have a different worldview. There's a lot of cultures that think, not going to touch poop, that's disgusting, why would I want that in my crops, and we teach like the little details of how, it's even in Luke, I believe it's chapter 6, where, he's talking about spreading manure around a tree. And so all of these things that we do, we back it up biblically. And so when we teach other farmers around the world, we use the skills and the hands-on experience that we've learned, and we implement that into our teachings, back it up biblically, and to show and to teach those in other countries that have been taught, you have to use chemical fertilizer, you have to use pesticides and herbicides in order for you to gain a good crop. But what it's done is taken away the nutrients in their soil. It's caused erosion. It's caused all these other issues. And so our job is to come in and to teach creation care in the way that God has taught us to care and tend for the land and the animals and everything that we've been given. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the tour. And I'd love to hear some feedback from you. And hope that God blesses you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. And anytime that you feel led to bring a team to come and see what we do firsthand, to experience it, or if you know of anyone who is wanting to learn more about sustainable development, sustainable community development, it's not just about agriculture, but it does involve it. Have them sign up for our school. It's a 12-week lecture phase and then an 8-week practical. So we enjoy it. We love what we do, and not only here, but we're also working and expanding into Malawi and hopefully into Kenya next year, and we'll just see where God takes us.